I'm constantly thinking about how also I can like improve or find performance. Then also I stop racing, and then we
Listen, guys, something happened last week that the entire F1 world is still talking about, and honestly, it should make every Orange Army member stop and pay attention. Max Verstappen's private jet lands in Salzburg. The Red Bull owners are waiting, the doors close, and nobody is saying a single word about what happened inside. Then Max gets to Barcelona, journalists ask him directly, and his response completely shuts it down. Hold on, because what's being hidden behind that silence is actually way bigger than you think. Let's break it down, but before, if you want more updates and news on Max, then hit that like button and subscribe for more breakdowns. The meeting, what actually happened. So, let's set the scene properly. Right after the Monaco Grand Prix, Max Verstappen's private jet gets spotted landing in Salzburg, and fans who track his jet on flight trackers immediately blew up social media. Now, this wasn't just any meeting at some random office. He walked straight into Hangar 7 Red Bull's most iconic, most secretive location alongside his manager, Raymond Vermeulen. And on the other side of the table, Mark Mateschitz and Chalerm Uvija, the two people who literally own 100% of Red Bull GmbH. Oh, and Oliver Mintzlaff, the CEO, was also in the room. This wasn't a casual catch-up over coffee, guys. When the two owners of the entire company fly in their private jets to sit with their star driver, something serious is being discussed. The question is, what exactly? The question Max refused to answer. Now here's where it gets really interesting. When Max arrives at the Barcelona Grand Prix, every journalist in that paddock wanted one answer. What happened in Salzburg? And Max, being Max, gave them absolutely nothing. He looked straight at the cameras and said, "If there is anything new to tell you about what I'm going to do, you will hear it from me." That was it. Done. No details, no hints, no reassurance. And De Telegraaf, the Dutch newspaper that has some of the best sources inside the Verstappen camp, tried to calm things down by saying the meeting was already planned long before, and it was just a season review of the first 6 races. But here's the thing that nobody is talking about. If it was just a normal review meeting, why were there 0 people from Red Bull Racing itself in that room? No team principal, no engineers, just the owners. That detail alone tells you everything. What Red Bull actually wants from Max. So what does De Telegraaf's insider Eric Van Haren actually reveal? He makes it very clear Red Bull wants nothing more right now than for Max Verstappen to publicly say, "I am staying." That's it. Just those 3 words would change everything for them, because the moment Max commits, Red Bull can attract new sponsors, sign new staff, and stop walking on eggshells every single week. Van Haren describes Verstappen as, and this is a powerful way to put it, the one carrying the entire team on his back. But Max isn't giving them that comfort. Not yet. He wants to watch a few more races, see how the RB22 develops, and then make his decision. And what makes this even more tense is that Van Haren openly said it is quite possible that Verstappen ends up leaving, and that the summer break is going to be the real moment of truth for everyone. The exit clause. The clock is already ticking. Now let's talk about the thing that is making Red Bull genuinely nervous right now. Max has a performance exit clause buried inside his contract that runs until 2028. And according to reports, all he needs is to be sitting outside the top 2 in the championship standings when the summer break hits and that exit door swings wide open. Right now, he's sitting 7th in the championship with 43 points after a retirement in Monaco where his engine literally died at the start. He gets from August all the way to October to decide whether he activates it. So Red Bull is not just watching race results for sporting reasons. Every single points gap matters because it directly affects whether their biggest asset walks out the door. The summer break isn't just a holiday this year. For Red Bull, it's the most stressful few weeks in the team's recent history. The Mercedes shadow and Jos Verstappen's move. And just when you thought this story couldn't get more dramatic, let's add one more layer. Before the Salzburg meeting, Max's private jet was also spotted near the Mercedes factory in England. And guess who was reportedly also in that area at the same time? Toto Wolff. Now, Max brushed it off completely. He even joked that having a boat next to Toto's boat doesn't mean they're signing contracts together. But what really raised eyebrows was something his father, Jos Verstappen, did. During the Canadian Grand Prix weekend, Jos was spotted having a conversation with Toto Wolff. And in the F1 world, when Jos starts talking to rival team bosses, history tells us that things are about to get very interesting. Remember, it was Jos who first publicly pushed for Max to leave Red Bull back in 2024. So when he starts making paddock moves again, Orange Army, pay very close attention. What this all means for Max's future. So let's connect all the dots here. Max is 7th in the championship. Red Bull has the 4th fastest car by his own admission. Key people like Adrian Newey, Christian Horner, and Helmut Marko are all gone. The team is basically being rebuilt from scratch around a brand new power unit with Ford. And on top of all of this, Mercedes is currently dominating the 2026 season, winning 6 out of 7 races so far. So when Max sits in that Salzburg room with the Red Bull owners, you have to ask yourself, what would you do in his position? The talent is undeniable. The car right now is not. And every week that Red Bull fails to bring proper upgrades is another week that the Mercedes option looks a little bit more attractive. This summer is genuinely going to define the next chapter of Max Verstappen's entire F1 career. What happens next? So to wrap it all up, a secret meeting, a refused question, an exit clause ticking quietly in the background, and a Mercedes shadow that just won't go away. That is the reality of Max Verstappen's situation right now in 2026. Personally, I think Max stays, but only if Red Bull shows up in Austria with something real. Now here's the question I want to leave with you, Orange Army, if Max does activate that exit clause this summer. Which team deserves him more, Red Bull or Mercedes? Drop it in the comments. See you in the next one.